Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about audio quality and the best way to listen to music because I've listened to music a lot, especially recently because I've gotten into a bunch of different albums now and listened to a bunch of different artists, and I'm going to be talking about the best ways to listen to music, but also talking about the worst ways to listen to music and going up from there. First, MP3s. Basically the worst way to listen to music. They are horribly compressed. And yes, because of that compression, the file size is very low, but it sacrifices audio quality. It is terrible. It is super inconsistent, and it just doesn't sound good at all. Like, it's very distorted. It gets distorted easily. Even with a good recording, it still doesn't sound that good. So I don't recommend MP3s at all if you care about audio quality. And the next way up is vinyl. Now, a lot of people like vinyl, and it is sort of resurfaced because there is a sort of character to vinyl. There's like a warm tonality to it, and there's like a bunch of crackling and just a bunch of character to it from what I've heard. And that's fine, but it still doesn't sound the best because it is kind of an old physical, like, it is kind of an old format, or not an old format, but like an old way to listen to music. It was one of the first ways, probably the first physical release of music. And yeah, it has a bunch of character to it, but yeah, a lot of people say that it's not the best way to listen to music because, there's still a bunch of like crackling and stuff like that. But I don't bash on people that like vinyl because it has character, and a lot of people just prefer that over just even the best sounding audio. But that's not me. Next are CDs. And they still sound pretty good, even if they are kind of a dying format, which is a shame because I have a bunch of CDs right here, and they all sound pretty good. These are all fantastically recorded records, so maybe that's the reason why. But yeah, I have a ton of CDs right here, and they all sound pretty good. Because CDs overall, they're decently high quality. Of course, like there's like way higher qualities that I'll get to, that sound better. But CDs still sound pretty good, and if it's the only sound format you can get like digitally as well, because on some websites like Cubuzz, for some like albums specifically, you can only download them in CD quality. I'm looking at you, Daft Punk Discovery. I don't know why there's no high-res audio version of that. That sucks. But yeah, if there's only like a CD quality version of like a digital download, then just get a fucking CD. Not only is it just cool to have a physical version of an album that you really like, but you can also just rip them to FLACs or WAVs if you ever want to, and then just put them onto a thumb drive if you want to, and make it even more convenient. But it's also just kind of convenient to pop in a CD whenever you want and just have a physical version of a album that you really like. And they're also just compact, so you can just put these like literally anywhere. The only thing I don't like about CDs are some of them have jewel cases, and these jewel cases suck. It seems like anytime you move them, anytime they drop on the ground, they break. They're annoying, they suck. The soft packs, where there's not any jewel cases, are way better in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. And next, the best way to listen to music are probably 96 kilohertz or 24-bit FLACs or WAVs. Now, I say FLACs or WAVs because a lot of people argue which ones sound better, but a lot of people say that WAVs are the best sounding in terms of sound quality, but there's a cost to that. They are very, very chunky in terms of file size. They take up a lot of space. So if you want a good compromise of very good sounding music and not the worst in terms of how much space it takes up, then go for FLACs. Because I go for FLACs. I listen to FLACs basically constantly whenever I listen to music. I just go for FLACs. Like, they sound great, and they don't take up an enormous amount of file space, and they still sound pretty good. But if you want the best sounding audio, then go for high-res audio like 96 kilohertz. As I said, 96 kilohertz, 24-bit audio, and then just go for WAVs. Because if you don't care about file space or file size, then just go for those because those are uncompressed. If you don't know what compression is, as I've already stated, it's basically where the audio gets squashed down to where stuff gets distorted, like with MP3s, as I've already stated. They're very compressed. MP3s are super compressed to the point where a lot of stuff gets distorted easily, and it's just not really well balanced. Even with a very well balanced song, it's just not a good way to listen to music. But even that being said, FLACs still sound very good, even though they are sort of compressed. But with the beauty of high-res audio is that no matter what, they basically state that it's lossless audio, where you lose none of the audio quality no matter what. So it basically just comes down to which audio format you prefer. I'm still trying to figure out if I like WAVs better. Maybe when I digitally download my next album that I like, I'll take a listen to the WAVs and the FLACs and see which ones I prefer. But for right now, I prefer WAVs just because they aren't the biggest in terms of file size and they still sound very great. But yeah, the bummer is with digital downloads is that you don't have a physical copy of the album. So if you want to look at the album artwork and have like a physical release of it, then just really go for CDs if you care about audio quality. But yeah, that's basically it. There are also higher res versions of like high-res audio, like 192 kilohertz, like 24-bit audio. But a lot of people say that even though it's like double the file size and like double like the amount of processing power that 192 has, a lot of people say they just can't tell the difference. So at that point, just go for 96 kilohertz. I'm pretty sure that those will sound the best. But if you do want the best of the best, the oh my gosh, the ultimate sound quality, then yeah, you can go for WAV 192 kilohertz, 24-bit. But there's also a chance that your audio system may not be able to even process that because, for example, my DAC can only process 96K kilohertz. So yeah, or 96 kilohertz, but it states it's 96K, but that stands for 96 like thousand or whatever kilohertz. But yeah, that's basically it. If you just see 96K, you'll know what I'm talking about. It just means 96,000 whatever the fuck kilohertz. But that's basically it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.